Guys, is it a sin to make mistakes? Hey, is it a bad thing to make mistakes? No, absolutely not. When you make a mistake, what are you supposed to do? Learn from it. That's all. Right? Everybody on the face of the earth makes mistakes. I'm 51 years old. I make them all the time. Constantly make them. But when I make them, I say to myself, oh man, where did I screw up? What can I do to make that work right? And that's what we're trying to get here. Okay. Lizbeth, you psyched to get another opportunity here? Right? I hope so. All right, so let's take a look. Let's work on these questions from numbers 5 through 10. And the good news is a lot of you did really well on this section. We didn't have the issues with the negatives that we had on the first section. So I saw a lot of improvement here. Dr. Pachullo, it may look like we're pounding a couple things to death here, but they went up on average 10 to 15 points on a harder test. We were just starting down a little bit, so we have to come back and hit it again and again before we can, say enough is enough. All right, I have negative 3n squareds, and I have negative 4n squareds. What do I have altogether? Negative 7y. That's right. Now let me show you the two wrong answers that people put on the test. Watch it now, ready? Some people put that. If they did that, what did they forget? The n squareds, right? Here's the other mistake that people made. What did they do? Yeah, they added the exponents. Now let's be clear about something. Look, if I did negative 3n squared times negative 4n squared, that would be 12n to the fourth. And I do add exponents there. The reason is really simple. Because as I write this out, it's negative 3nn times negative 4nn. And then as I look at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. My exponent is going to be n to the fourth because it's multiplying n times n times n times n, which is n to the fourth. The problem is here, I have negative 3 things called n squareds. And I have another negative 4 things called n squareds. Now let me ask you a question. Kevin, you with me here, buddy? That's a nice FDNY sweatshirt you got on there. What are 3 FDNY sweatshirts plus 4 FDNY sweatshirts? 7 what? That's exactly right. You go out and you play your soccer game today. You score 3 goals this game, you score 4 goals next game. What do you got? 7 what? 7 goals. Do you get 3 goals and 4 goals and get 7 bicycles? Do you? Do you get 3 things of water and 4 things of water and somehow come up with 7 things of soda? No. Whenever you add or subtract anything on the face of the earth, you always get back the kind of thing you started with. So if I start with n squareds and I add more n squareds, my answer has to be n squareds. Yes?
On the test, I times that. That's why, just a bigger number.
Right, absolutely. And again, now that we've explained it, do you get it more?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really what we're looking for. You know what? This is really important, guys. We've covered so much material that it's human to confuse a little piece here with a little piece there. But the whole point behind the Relearn Packet is to take a look at our answers and say to ourselves, where did I make my mistake? And then not repeat that mistake. All right, so let's take a look at this one. What's the rule when I raise a power to a power? Yeah, you multiply. Good. So, Rita, if I do d to the third, what am I going to get? Absolutely. D to the ninth. Very straightforward. We did a really nice job. We did a nice job in this whole section, but particularly here. Now, I want to relate number 7 to something we did a couple of minutes ago when we talked about exponents. Do you remember before when we put the negative 5 in parentheses and we squared it, and we said that this means negative 5 times negative 5? Right? All right, Jalen, good to see you look up for a minute there. You just kept looking down. Oh, man, I'm losing it. All right, so I'm squaring the negative 5. That means negative 5 times negative 5, which we said was 25. Well, let's take the same idea here. See the parentheses? There's 2 different ways to do this. One way is to say, well, it means 5x times 5x. Okay, let's multiply the coefficients. What's a coefficient again? The number in front, very good. What's 5 times 5, everybody? 25. And then x times x is what? X squared. So I get 25x squared, or, kind of like the distributive property, I have to remember that the squared refers to everything in the package. So 5 squared is 25, x to the second is x squared. Okay, we good there? All right, so, number 8. We're going to review all of the things we've done so far. When we raise a power to a power, we multiply. When we add, exponents stay the same. And when I work across, I have to add exponents when I multiply monomials. What's negative 5n to the 8th times negative 7n to the 3rd? Go ahead. 35. You keep saying n11. You should say n to the 11th. Okay? Right, I know it's a picky detail, but we want to be able to say it in a way that we express it the way other people would understand what we're saying. Okay? And if I say 35n11, that doesn't sound like the 11's an exponent. But if we say 35n to the 11th, that's what we're looking for. Okay? All right, next one up. We got number 28. Number 9, I'm sorry. 28x to the 7th divided by 4x squared. Mr. Gonzalez, how are we today? Good weekend? All right, talk to me. First off, you did a much better job on your test. Did you see your improvement? I did. I was really proud of you. I thought you did a super job. However, let's make sure we got this down pat. 28 divided by 4. Talk to me. Good. 7 is right. What do I do with these exponents? Do I add them? Do I subtract them? Do I multiply them? Do I divide them? What do I do? That's right. So what is 7 minus 2? Good. 7x to the 5th is the right answer. Michael, talk to me for a second. Is math your best subject? No. Did you improve a lot on your test? Doing your work? It's all about our work, guys. Performance is a function of preparation. If we prepare thoroughly, if we don't take no for an answer, and we work, we're going to succeed and we're going to do well. All right, solve for x. 3 to the x times 3 to the 5 equals 3 to the 10. What do these two exponents have to do to come up with a 10? You have to add them. Good. So what number do I have to add to 5 to get 10? What number plus 5 is 10, guys? 5. So 5 is the correct answer. Could be a little more formal if you wanted to. You could write x plus 5 equals 10 and subtract 5 from both sides. I don't know that you have to get that methodical about it, but you could if you wanted to. Okay? All right, so that's part B of the thing entirely done. Listen, tonight, do section B for each of those two, and then we will work on develop. In the other class, I'm going to cover the other sections, and you can catch up and watch the videos at home when you're done. Hasta la vista, vaya con Dios, toodaloo, ta-ta, arrivederci, smile a lot, ciao, adios amigos, y amigas, Garushus. Well, if you have one of them, that's good enough. I'll try to get your test graded, maybe even now, but get it back to you at lunch. Okay?
On the Relearn Packet, I have the part B's, but I can't actually help last time it's A. Check it. It was in there. Should I bring?
Bring it for lunch. Lunch. All right, yeah, now's a really bad time, but if you get it to lunch, we'll get it all straightened out. Angelina, how's that first packet going?
Good. I only have a page left. I'm doing it tonight.
All right, Stephanie, what about you?
I'm about to finish.
Am I going to see you guys in the library tonight?
Yeah. I'm gonna try.
Take care, Dr. P. Enjoy.